doing?
Gosh, I don't know.
How long?
It's been, well, at least a year and a half. I think the last time we saw you was
At Joshua's.
Well, I went for coffee with him once.
That's right.
Right.
We did get
well, last
connect.
time I saw you then was at Joshua's.
At Joshua's, right?
Yeah.
Well, one of the interesting dynamics is when we don't see each other for such a long time, but we see each other like on social media. Mm-hmm. It's almost like we're. Do you
Like
see?
this morning?
Yes. That was awesome. I'm so encouraged when I see your name. Okay, yeah. But I have to gauge my excitement because, I want it to be like even across the board. You know?
I know, you can't be like,
Here's my
"Yay!"
special people. I have a special connection here, right?
No, it's great. I love your show.
Are you guys going domestic or international?
Domestic.
Domestic, and that's with WestJet, Air Canada?
Air Canada.
Awesome, good. What is the agenda, the itinerary? Like vacation or?
My daughter's birthday.
Okay.
2022.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go celebrate with her and her new boyfriend.
Amazing.
Well, he's not new. He's new to us. It's like a year and a half.
I've only met him
or
once.
something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's new to us, and I meet his mom. So that's kind of cool.
Okay. And he's already met you guys.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, he
Met
came
us
out
last
here.
Summer.
Summer,
Last
yeah.
summer?
Do you remember when I saw your daughter like by coincidence at the park? That was like one of the craziest. So was he here at that time too?
No, that
Okay.
was just her.
That was just her. Okay, gotcha.
Singular visit.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's a big deal though. That's awesome.
I know.
So it's kind of like for pleasure and for family and so on.
Yeah. Our initial intention was to see, to go through the Okanagan Valley.
Yeah.
To see Greg's daughter and my good friend.
Yeah.
But it's just full of smoke, right? So we can't drive through that with my
Right.
asthma and stuff. It's just gonna
Yeah.
send me to hospital. So
Yeah, not to mention all the fires and stuff that are still going on.
Right.
yeah, they're shutting down highways, to accommodate, and it's just I hate that idea of being trapped,
Yeah, for sure.
in the midst of that.
Does that
We'll
mean?
do that part later.
Oh, I
this
see.
year.
Like okay.
September, over her birthday.
Yes, for my birthday.
When
we're
is
gonna
that?
Do that. September 26th.
Oh my goodness, so that's not too far away. A
No.
month and a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully the fires will have died
Dissipated.
down.
Well, the beautiful thing is like we had smoke here, but now it's like pretty much dissipated, right?
Yeah.
Now I couldn't smell the smoke. Could you sense the smoke while you were here?
Totally.
You could. Okay. So it was
Yeah.
very clear.
Eyes watering, nose running,
Oh,
throat
man.
crazy. It's still a little bit with me actually.
Is it? Eh?
Yeah.
Although even when I look at the horizon now, it kind of looks like I'm hoping it doesn't.
It's
come
hazy.
back.
We haven't seen the mountains all summer.
But the last
I've
couple of
missed
days we were able to.
Oh, were you?
Oh, yes, that's why I was
haven't
saying it seems so dissipated, right? But then I heard it might sneak back again over the weekend here.
Yeah, it's
so,
just the wind, right?
Yeah.
The direction it takes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good to see you.
I know, it's so good to see you guys. We have such a short time. So let me introduce you guys to my cast. So guys, I rarely ever address the camera because usually I'm with my riders, right? But I got permission in advance. These are my dear friends Leanne and Greg Million. And they also are active on social media, and I would love for you guys to check them out. So I'm going to give them a chance to talk a little bit about what they do on social media and where you can find them. They're really active on Instagram. TikTok, you're not so active, are you?
No, not
Okay,
anymore.
so
No, we don't do the talk.
Yeah.
We want to talk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I tried a couple times. I'm like, this feels weird.
Okay, let me start off with you, Leanne.
Okay.
Okay, Leanne. I turn on the music so people can hear you.
Yeah.
But don't worry, you got microphones right behind you, so they should be
Oh,
able to
yeah,
hear you.
okay.
Oh yeah. Okay, carry on.
What am I doing?
So you're gonna tell a little bit about
Oh, he's wired.
about what you do, about what you
What
do.
I do, what
yes.
I do. Okay, so I'm a relationship and sexuality coach.
Yeah.
And essentially I help people move into their authenticity in their relationships
Yeah.
and their sense of self. Usually what happens in relationships is we tend to get more enmeshed than we, maybe like to, and we
Right.
need to reclaim ourselves sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially in the long-term relationships.
Yeah. So a person really needs to get in touch with you when they are.
That's a good question.
When they are needing help with relationships or their sexuality, if they have questions, concerns, situations that they're not sure how to handle.
Very cool. Highly recommended. Guys, when she comes on my live streams, I'm like, guys, you need to talk to Leanne.
You're so sweet about that, too. You really are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You made some great connections that way along the way, too, haven't you?
Yeah.
So I'm really thrilled about that. So highly esteemed, and I do value her input. So, Greg, what are you about?
What am I about? Wow, that's a loaded question.
We don't have time for that.
Yeah, we don't have time for that one. Sorry.
Okay,
Next
in a succinct way, what have you committed yourself to?
Oh yeah, that's a little narrower.
Yes.
So my work is all about emotional vulnerability, stepping into vulnerability, stepping into using your emotions as a way to empower yourself.
Yeah.
Essentially, pretty much everything that we do, I can't think of anything that we do that isn't driven by an emotional need of some sort. Anything from the food that we eat, when we eat it, to the relationships that we're in, to the jobs that we do, the people that we connect with, like everything, literally everything that we do is driven by some sort of emotional need. And so, but yet we spend the majority of our lives trying to suppress those emotions. So my work basically is helping people to come to grips with understanding that emotions, once we can tap into our emotions, we can really, really start to use them in an empowering way. And it's been my journey, my personal journey. I suffered from struggled with emotional dysregulation for most of my life, depression, anxiety, and all of that stuff. And through the work that I've done personally on myself, I've come to understand that emotions have power. They have power over us, or we can use them in a very conscious and aware way, bring some light to them, and use them to drive ourselves forward in a healthy and positive way.
Huge.
So that's the nuts and the bolts of it. And I work with, much like Leanne, I work primarily in relationship-based type stuff with sexuality, because we find that emotions tend to be more heightened in those areas. So that tends to be the types of people that are drawn to me. But to be honest with you, your question about you should call when you...
Yeah.
Well, anytime, because we're all emotional creatures. And so if we can tap into those emotions, then we can find ways to be able to use them as strengths in our life.
I often think also about how emotions, actually a lot of emotions, it seems, are super scary for so many.
Yeah.
Because they don't know how to navigate through them.
Right.
And it almost seems like they're owned by the emotions rather than knowing how to strategically express, maybe, or communicate.
And that's the thing is that we use the term, we're just going to ignore it. Well, we don't really ignore it. It's there. We might pretend like we're ignoring it, but we're not really ignoring it, because emotions live in our body, right?
Yeah,
And there are so many ways to get into them, right?
Yeah.
There's physical, there's mental, there's the emotion itself, right?
Yeah.
There's spiritual ways, so there's so many ways to get into it. But the reality is they live in our body, and so we're not avoiding anything, we're not ignoring anything, we're just not bringing awareness to it, we're just not bringing consciousness to it, and putting it out into the light where we can take a look at it, unpack it, and use it to our benefit, as opposed to trying to be trying to run away from it, essentially.
Sure enough. So you guys can see why I really resonate with them, not only on a intellectual level of saying juicy stuff, because this is juicy. I'm just holding myself back in the reins, but also like on a personal level too. And so I find one of those elements that really makes a big difference when you're in your sphere of expertise in helping people through these things. A huge part, it seems, is the personality element, right?
Yeah.
If people don't connect, they're like, this is not the right vehicle. And so my personal recommendation is backed because of that personal element of knowing them on a personal level. And so highly recommend these two. We haven't talked about how people can find your work on Instagram. So Leanne, tell us how my viewers can find you.
Sure. I'm at Leanne Million on Instagram. And I also have a website, leannemillion.com. L-E-A-N-N-E million, just like the number, and only one. So M-I-L-L-I-O-N.
Not plural. Although I thought about changing the correct millions. Because so many people go with it.
So many people get it wrong. Yeah, they're like, how many millions? I'm like, no. And we also are on Facebook. So we have a group called Empowered Now, Relationship and Support. No, Relationship Support and Advice for
There we
All
go.
is the subtitle. So if you're looking for that, you can join our group.
That's awesome. That's an ongoing podcast that you both facilitate together.
Oh, yes. Empowered Now is also the name of our podcast, which you can find on Spotify, YouTube, Google, and Apple. And a couple more that I'm not remembering right in this
Anchor.
moment. Yeah,
Anchor.
it's through Anchor that it's distributed. So there's other ones like Breaker, I think it's called.
Breaker, yeah. Pretty much
Yeah.
wherever you find podcasts. I mean,
Yeah.
They can find you guys' stuff.
the most popular platform.
Yeah. So a whole variety of topics there, including special guests along the way. Some notable, others lesser known, and still fantastic content too.
Oh yeah, and we had Jessica Fern, author of Polysecure, the book.
Yeah, that was a total like.
That was amazing because we're such fans of the book.
I was so fanboy.
Oh man.
Like, you know,
We're so
I'm glad
thrilled.
that she didn't actually show, but sometimes we'll put outtakes into our YouTube
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you kept them in there, but I was just so geeked out about her.
I did. I kept them in there. So if you're watching it on YouTube, you can see it at the end. Or if you're listening,
I was
you can hear it at the
fanboying
end.
all over. A little on the embarrassing side.
Which is okay though. It's almost a way of saying